Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this episode of 40k New versus Old. In this episode, we're going to be checking out the first Prince of Chaos, the Dark Master, Belakor himself. So, without further ado, let's start off with this old model, shall we? Now, of course, I've got this model on a big ass hero rock for obvious reasons, but let's have a look anyway, shall we? Now, this is a fine cast. This isn't metal. Start by taking a spin around this bad boy. Reasonably well defined horns on this model. A little bit of depth in some areas. The face is definitely not too bad. Reasonably deep in areas. Tongue's a little bit small. I'm not sure whether that's just a miscast or not. But definitely much to be desired within this tongue. See this nice pointing hand. Got some nice veins on there. But also this thing is just got plenty of lumps from being a fine cast model. Nice little gauntlet slash van brace, whatever you want to call it there when we can get it to focus. Couple of nice little spiny horns coming out of the back. Some chubby fingers on this bad boy. Nice chaos star in the center of the chest. Well defined abs. Whatever those rib muscles are called. See more spines coming out of that. Little thigh pad there. Nice little tabard. Chainmail. Nice skull. And some little hooks. Some rings in sections of his body as well. Sort of stuck in there. Sort of Slanesh style, I suppose. Around. See these legs are a bit more of like a saurian feel in my opinion. Too large claws, and then the one on the back. Ooh, nice reptilian-esque tail with plenty of spines running down it. See these wings, plenty of sort of lateral grooves and sort of like leathery folds-esque. Some nice chains on there again, stuck in that flesh. Some skulls. Sure, Corn would be proud of the amount of skulls on this bad boy. Let's take a look at this blade. Yes, much to be desired with this thing. Looks like somebody's afterthought made out of plasticard. Yeah. I'm sure even for its time, this thing probably wasn't even the best. But coming around, we'll have a look at this. Alright, in between those wings, we see these nice sort of toothy spines that come out. It's a nice touch, big thick neck. Plenty more skulls and chains and little rings that are just pierced through those wings. Yeah, not a hell of a lot to this model, being a demon. But I suppose it wasn't too bad for its sort of period. Just a wee bit small, even compared to like the older Chaos Space Marine Demon Prince. He's quite small, and for being such a mad cunt. Definitely didn't have the stature to live up to the reputation. But now let's have a bit of a look at this new model, shall we? Alright, there's no way we're going to be able to fit this thing in frame. Let's start taking a bit of a look. Starting off with his head. It is very, very nicely defined ridges on these horns. A few little rings there that my brother has forgot to paint on his model. But beggars can't be choosers. I wasn't going to go out and spend the money to buy this, so I just borrowed it from him. We can see, yeah, nice couple of rings pierced through those horns. A snapped off section. See this face. It's got a very nice sort of bloodletter vibe to it. See that Star of Chaos is now burnt into his chest. Nice pecs, ab muscles. Coming around, we can see this nice gauntlet slash van brace. Some well defined pointy ass nails, knuckles. Nice tabard of flesh, or whatever you wish to paint it as, I suppose. I think I would have done the same thing and painted it as flesh. Some nice chainmail, plenty of skulls. Again, Corn would be proud. Coming around, have a look at these feet, shall we? Very reminiscent of the Lord of Change model, or Kairos, Fate Weaver. Sort of very bird reminiscent foot style. See, he's got plenty of little spines coming out of the skin. That thigh. Look at this blade. Nice amount of smoke just pouring off of this thing. A well designed hilt. This thing from the back angle. Very, very simple, but very nice blade. Look at these wings, shall we? These big ass bad boys. Plenty of chains, plenty of skulls, some other little accoutrements on there. Space Marine helmet, of course. Plenty of hooks. These chains definitely remind me a lot of the chains on Khan. A lot of these little things I think may have been reused from the Khan model, potentially. But they're very nice. Anyway, of course, they're on Khan. Everything on Khan's nice. We can see this wing pattern. This sort of more horizontal sort of separation and pattern. See at the top, we've got these nice tri-claws, sort of bat-esque, I suppose. Round to the back. Jesus Christ. We can see this very nice plated carapace. It's very well defined. It runs all the way down the tail. Sort of Godzilla, or Zilla-esque sort of plating. See nicely defined muscles on those wings. nicely defined muscles generally over this model. Oh, this thing is huge. Yeah, this is a very nice model indeed. A very, very, very worthy upgrade. But let's have a look at them side by side now, if we can, and see if it truly is a decent upgrade from the old one. All right, this boy off his display base to make this a little bit easier. Not that it's gonna make it that much goddamn easier. So let's see if we can get a good representation of the height difference, shall we? So yeah, immediately we can see this thing is massive compared to the old model. The old model is like the size of his leg, but bring him in. Let's bring these things in a bit closer. We'll see if we can have a decent head comparison. On this new one, we can see, yeah, these definitely more, like I said, bloodletter esque features. Still very reminiscent of the original model, but in my opinion, the way that the head sort of sits a bit more forward on the neck, the more defined horns now, the longer tongue, the teeth, the expression. It's more bloodletter sort of looking. Um, we can see, ooh, Jesus, if we can see his vambrace. Obviously, the new one's far more crisp, nicer trim on it. It's got that sort of similar as buckling, sort of peeling back effect where the horns are coming through. I suppose that would please Nurgle, the old horns sort of coming out of everywhere. A thigh plate stayed very much similar. Again, just trim more well defined. Little horns a little bit more well defined. So we get this thing. Those tabards, we can see the extra cloth layer, of course, but very similar. Plenty of little hooks. Plenty of skulls on the new one. The old one's only got one. Amped it up a little bit more. Gordon must have got on his back a little bit. We can see on this new model the abs aren't as well defined, but I think that is a bit more pleasing towards the eye anyway. The muscles not being so deep, some of those areas. He has gained himself a little pauldron. Hmm. Must have decided that he was just a little bit too exposed to some of those shots. See, plenty of horns still on the back of that arm. Have been forgotten to be painted. These, see if we can get these two blades in shot. Jesus. Alright. So, yeah, it's not even a competition. This new thing is excellent. Smoke swirling off the blade, an actual defined hilt, pommel, far larger. See, obviously all the chains on the wings are more three-dimensional, actually hanging off the wing. These old ones are obviously very flat and sitting on the wings. Look at this backside, shall we? So obviously we can see the all this armor plating's more definitely more defined along the tail. Sort of just these pinch marks on this old one. See, it's like I said, it's got this more sort of Zilla vibe about it. See, they didn't do those little sort of toothy spines coming out the wing sections, which is a little bit disappointing, but can't complain that much for the excellence that is the rest of this model. Yeah, overall, yeah, few little differences that are noticeable when actually looked at, but overall, it's very reminiscent of the old sculpt, but just fixed up in a lot of ways. A few new details. Yeah, hands down, this new one, obviously, far better sculpt. And he definitely the size that he should be now. But speaking of size, let's compare him to the Kairos Fate Weaver model, shall we? Just have a look at him next to a Greater Daemon. Right. You have to forgive me. Kairos has lost his staff. But if we try and get these things somewhat level, there, we can see that Kairos definitely a little bit bigger. Probably got like about 10 millimeters or so on him. He's not quite as big, but once his wings get up there, it's not too bad. I'll insert a nice picture of them side by side. That way we can have a better sort of high comparison view. But he's definitely fits his stature as one of the better Daemon princes. Now, not quite as big as a Greater Daemon, but definitely far bigger than the normal Daemon Prince sculpt, which we can have a little comparison now. Here's belakor. Here's the Daemon Prince. Of course, I'm joking. The current one. If we get these bad boys side by side, obviously straight away we can see massive height difference in between these two. Huge difference in the wing size. Everything about belakor is just shows his dominance as I suppose the best Daemon Prince. I don't know. I suppose some would probably argue that. I might argue it a little bit. Raka's definitely cool. But yeah, uh, definitely a beautiful model. This new one. Definitely worth picking up if you're a fan of belakor. Everyone's been waiting for an official G-Dub model for a while. Yeah. But with that, we'll end out this video. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.